Assalamu alaikum. I'm in the
Assalam.
second level. Second level.
Second level on the right, left?
No, on top,
Yeah,
on top.
on the right
on
side.
top.
On the right side.
Right side, okay, here.
No, here,
on
here.
Your, on
My
your
right,
left
your-
side. On your left side.
My right or your right?
No, your left side. Your left side.
Yes.
I do have one question, but before I'm asking my question, I'm really missing one of your inspirator, Dr. Israr Ahmad, because I have seen both of you
Sorry,
in
who are-
Bangalore when you
sorry,
were
who are you
giving the
missing?
grand lecture.
Sorry, who are you missing?
Dr. Israr Ahmad.
Dr. Isar Ahmad, mashallah, yes.
Yeah,
He's been very
because-
close to me, and may
yeah.
Allah grant him Jannah.
Yeah, because we do follow both of you. You are the team member. You are doing the great job for whole humankind. And we do appreciate and we do pray for both of you.
Ameen, ameen.
Now my the main reason of taking this mic, in your lecture you have told that Quran says if we pay zakah, it will solve the humanity, the poverty main problem. So I do have one concern. Even though there is a clear instruction from Quran, but because of zakah, what the rule says, 2.5% we have to pay. But still in the Muslim community, we do have lot of challenge regarding this. Still the poor people, poverty still exist. I believe we do have some responsibility which we are not doing collectively. Can you please enlighten what we can do in a concrete way so that we can really take the verse of this Quran to eradicate this social poverty issues? What are the weak links we do have that we are not eradicated since this holy book has given the right way?
Brother asked a question that I said in my talk that Quran says that if you give zakat, the poverty will be eradicated. I said that if every rich human being in the world gives zakat, poverty will be eradicated. That was my statement. That if every rich human being in the world gives zakat, poverty will be eradicated in this world. Leave aside the non-Muslims, even the Muslims, we know that many of the Muslims, they don't give zakat what is due to them. Some may be giving part of it. Oh, this doesn't fall under zakat, this doesn't fall. Some may be giving more than what is required. But even if the Muslims collectively, we know, according to me, the richest men in the world, according to me, are Muslims. Don't go on the Forbes list. Huh? The Forbes list is only those people who have listed companies. According to me, among the 100 richest men in the world, 95 may be in the Gulf country. Because they have companies. The one oil company will be $200 billion, much more than Elon Musk or Bill Gates. One company. The thing is there that, yes, the Muslims as a whole are a very charitable people, but unfortunately, we may not be very well organized. So the right system at the time of the Khulafa Rashidin was a Baitul Zakat or a Baitul Mal. If you have a Baitul Mal and if you collectively take Zakat, and if you distribute under one particular body, it is more powerful. But unfortunately today, we are living in different countries. We may not know whether the body collecting can we trust or not. So because we don't have that trust, that's the reason we give zakat the way we feel is right. Some may be right, some may be wrong. But the right system is if we have a Baitul Mal or a Baitul Zakah, a body collecting, if we collect one particular organization which has a bigger reach and knows how to spend correctly, it will be more effective than individual people giving. But whatever said and done, as long as we fulfill our basic requirement of giving the zakat, as per the Quran, we are doing our minimum duty. Correct? Now, when I made the statement that if every rich person gives zakat, it includes every human being, Muslim and non-Muslim put together. Even if as Muslims, Allah has given us the wealth, if you give the proper zakat, inshallah, we can at least solve the problems of the Muslims of the world. So, of course, we should see to it that Allah has given wealth to few people exorbitant. So if these few people who Allah has given exorbitant wealth, if they give the charity the way the Quran prescribes, then inshallah, even the problems of the Muslim world will inshallah get solved. Now coming to your question, what can you do? What should you do? Is you as an individual should see that you are doing your duty. Allah will not question you, why did the billionaire did not give zakat? Allah will question you, if you are liable for zakat, did you give or not? So as far as you and I are concerned, we should see to it that we give our duty. And my recommendation always is that zakat is the minimum fard you have to give. But besides that, Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Baqarah, chapter number 2, verse number 261, that if you give one corn in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is charity, that besides zakat. Besides zakat, if you give charity, Allah says with every corn you give, every grain you give, Allah will give you 7 years. Each year bearing 100 corns. That means Allah will give you 700 times. In business terminology, it is 70,000% profit. So there is no business in the world except business with Allah where you can get 70,000% profit. So I recommend to my Muslim brothers, whether you're rich or poor, besides the minimum zakat that you have to give, why don't you commit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala additional 10% of your income every year? When you start giving 10%, Allah increases your income, then make it 20%, make it 30, make it 40, and believe me, the more you give, the percentage with you becomes less, but the quantity remains more. And I've been a practical example to that. The more you give, and I told my son, see, when you're doing business, make Allah your business partner. And when you make Allah your business partner, you cannot make him a small partner. So minimum you have to give is 51% in the way of Allah. This is my recommendation, not Quran. But this guidance you get from the hadith of the Prophet. And we have the example of Hazrat Umar, may Allah be pleased with him. He gave half his wealth. Hazrat Abu Bakr gave everything. So I tell my son that when you're doing business, see to it, minimum you give 51% charity in the way of Allah. Why? Allah, you should make him a bigger partner. And if you make Allah the partner, Allah will take care of your business. Zakat means purification. Zakat means increase. That you have to give 2.5% of your saving. But here, if you're making Allah your business partner, He will take care of your business. But when I recommend some people, 20%, too much test. What is too much? You start and see Allah will give you increment. I tell the businessman, start with 10% first of the profit besides your zakat. Make it 20, make it 30. Try and reach to 51% minimum. Keep on increasing as much as you can. The more you increase, the more benefit you get this world and the akhirah. Hope that answers the question, brother.
So we have, so normally this side is for the sisters. And you guys are, so we'll have probably 1 or 2 more questions depending. But before that, there is one brother is there.
Brothers can come.
Yeah?
Brothers can come.
Yeah, brothers can come to that side, yes. Can you, yeah.
Sheikh, I want to ask, how can we deal with scalar thoughts that we can see that is spreading these days?
Sorry, brother, where are you, brother?
From...
Okay. Yeah, what's the question, brother?
I'm asking
Why
how...
is the mic going to you? MashaAllah, there is MashaAllah, brother, you're young, correct?
No,
you're healthy?
Yeah.
Are you young and healthy?
Yeah.
So why don't you come here?
I
Why don't
think
you come to the microphone?
He's on a wheelchair. I
Oh,
think.
wheelchair.
Yeah,
Okay, yes, brother.
How can we deal with scalar thoughts that's spreading these days?
Sorry, how can you
Deal with the scalar thoughts that's
deal
spreading
with killer
these-
thoughts?
Scalar, like most of people these days.
Sorry, I think the sound system is not very clear. I cannot understand the question. Maybe the audience, secular, because there's no microphone here. The professional system, as I said, the hall is very good, mashallah. Convention center. Please request the organizers, that normally when you say a professional system, this is my field, there should be monitor speakers. You have such a beautiful hall, such expensive hall, beautiful lighting. Why don't you have 2 monitor speakers for the speaker? I request the management, mashallah, you have got such a big hall, beautiful, everything. It doesn't cost much to have 2 monitor speakers for the person who's speaking. You know, when the musicians and haram they do, they have all these microphones. Why doesn't Adaya have this? The only requirement I told the organizer is I require a professional microphone system, that's it. I don't want to stay in a 5-star hotel, I can sleep in the floor. I require a professional microphone system because if a dai is going at war, this is my weapon. If I don't have a professional microphone system, how can I speak? So you're asking a question, everyone is hearing except me and the person here. So they may be thinking this person is a fool, asking, repeat the question, repeat the question. I'm not a fool because you all can hear the microphone, the speakers are facing you, not me. So can you repeat the question slowly, brother? Sorry to bother you.
No problem. My question was, how can we deal with scalar thoughts that is spreading these days?
How can you deal with secular thoughts
Yes,
that are separating you with the deen?
Yes, and we can see that is spreading these days.
Yes, the brother asked a question.
Specifically, the new generation is getting affected with this thoughts that is spread in the websites and.
How can we deal with secular thoughts? Correct?
Yeah,
That's the question. Brother asked a question that how can you deal with the secular thoughts that are coming into your mind and they're disturbing you? You know, many things, you find in the world. And today, the whole world is a global village. Everything on the internet, you Google, you get the reply. You Google, good and bad, good and bad. It can take it very good for dawah, very bad to take you away from deen also. And this is the problem that because the world has become a global village, you go on the net and you find many things which may take you away from your deen. So the best way to keep you on your deen is to see to it that every day you read the Quran. When these thoughts disturb you, and if you read the Quran along with translation, it will solve most of your problems. Try to see to it that you at least read 1 juz if you can, along with translation. So in 1 month, you have rehearsed and refreshed your memory, and most of the replies to these secular thoughts are there. It is there in the Quran. Now, because of the world becoming a global village, you find many views that are disturbing. And when you see in the Western world, they are keeping on changing the values of life. And if a person is not attached with the Quran, there are high chances that he may deviate. He goes to a Western country, to America, to London, to educate himself, and he gets misguided. High chances. We have many of the Muslims, going to Western country. I'm not saying every Muslim that goes, but because of what they are taught in the schools, in the colleges, in the universities, intermingling of sexes, freedom of speech in the name of women's liberalization, they are taking away, they are talking about rights, but actually what they're doing, they're demoralizing them. So the best solution, brother, is that you should, depending upon the topic that is disturbing you, you should hear the talks of that dai. We give the solution to these topics. One thing is read the Quran. Second thing is certain dais that specialize in certain topics. Some in comparative religion, some in science, some in technology. So depending upon what is the thought that is disturbing you, one solution is read the Quran. The second is you hear the talks of those dais who are specialized in the topic. Hope that answers the question, brother.
So I think it's already, time is over. We cannot take any more questions. We have to go back. Yeah.
Brother, are you a gent or a lady?
One.
Are you a gent or a lady? Gent, then come here, please. Why are you standing in the lady section? Sorry? So you can't change your sex. Are you changing your sex? Please. These are sex. What's your name? You're a Muslim, no? You're a Muslim, then stand there. Non-Muslim, I can give exception. You cannot take the opportunity of a lady, one microphone full ordering for a lady, and you want to stand in the ladies' queue. This is not correct. So tomorrow if the toilet is full of the gents will go in the ladies' toilet. Please. Please can you stand there? Respect the rules of the auditorium and let the ladies ask a question. Are there ladies who have any questions?
Yes.
Oh, yes, sister.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My name is Amira. What is the advice to become a best daya?
MashaAllah. Our young daughter or sister asked a question. What is the basic advice to become a daya? Number one, as I mentioned in my talk, the best profession in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a dai. As Allah says in the Quran in Surah Fussilat chapter 41 verse number 33, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَالًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّ الْمِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Who is better in speech than one who invites to the way of thy Lord, works righteousness, and says that I am a Muslim? Number one is that you see to it that you enroll yourself in a good Islamic school. Because today's education, we started a school in Bombay, Islamic International School, education for both the worlds, deen and dunya both. And the school was so successful that the government could not digest it. So the government tried the level best to close it and we gave it to somebody else. He could not run it that well. So number one is that you see to it that you ask your parents to enroll yourself in an Islamic school which has the best education of deen and dunya. We had a school called Islamic International School in Bombay. Our main purpose was to give them the knowledge of deen and dunya. In our school, we teach Arabic lugha fosa from the age of, moment you join nursery, we teach them, from the age of 3. By the time the student reaches standard 5, he's Hafizul Quran, along with the normal. We teach Arabic as a language, along with English. English and Arabic are the two major languages. Then there are additional local languages taught. We teach him public speaking from the age of 4, English public speaking, Arabic public speaking at the age of 6. So imagine a child is confident, mashallah, even you're confident, mashallah, asking the question at a very young age. So everything, this is the training. So we train them in our school. When we have the annual function, we don't imitate Michael Jackson or all these, stars and all. It may be Sheikh Saud al-Shuraim, the Imam of the Haram, or Daila Sheikh Ahmad Didat. We inculcate the Islamic ethics from the beginning. So if we join an Islamic school, which is specialized in following Quran and Sunnah, we see to it that they start wearing hijab at a young age. We see to it that when they wear the Islamic attire, it is Islamic, the trouser above the ankle, covering the head. We instill in the child so much that the child starts teaching the parents. The parent, they may not be following Islam that much, but the moment when we teach the children, we ask the parents also to attend our lecture. So advice for you, sister, that if we can join an Islamic school which has the best education for both the worlds. Besides that, the way they think, memorizing the Quran is easier at a young age than an elder age. The best age is to memorize between the age of 6 to 9, and you're that age. So see to it that you memorize the Quran. And in our school, when you do 1 hour a day, within 3-4 years, you memorize the Quran while doing your normal studies. In our school, we teach the martial arts. Every student, by the time they reach standard 5, girl or boy, become black belt. We have to be fit. The swimming is compulsory. Of course, many people are trying to copy our model, but they have not been that successful because our model is crazy. Our ratio is very low. The student-teacher ratio is very low. The student-teacher ratio is every 3 student, 1 teacher. For every 1.5 student, there's 1 staff. So our teacher-student ratio is very low. It's expensive, so what we do, from the rich people, we charge more fees. For the poor people, we give free. It's a non-profit school. So of course, it's difficult to have such schools now that have that concept. But surely see to it that you enroll in Islamic school. You can do your hifz, learn Arabic as a language from a young age. See to it you learn the international language, also English. Besides that, see to it, once you pass, you see to it that you try and graduate into an Islamic university, if you want to be a Dai. And the same thing we did for my children, besides the school. All my 3 children, 2 daughters and my son, they are speaking Lugha Fusa from the young age, 3, 4. Then they graduated from Jamiatul Imam, my son. He did bachelor's in Sharia from the Islamic University of Riyadh. And both my daughters from Jamiatul Noora. So my advice to you also, see to it, you enroll yourself in Islamic university so that you get the knowledge of the Sharia, so that you can be a better Dai. At the same time, make yourself fluent in Arabic and English. You hear the lectures of Dais who you like, so that at a young age you can start memorizing the talks. When you memorize the talk, the children can memorize very well. Allah has given everyone a capacity. Many children can memorize songs, 50, 100 songs. I mean, this is garbage. You memorize the Quran, you memorize the speech of the du'ats. So see to it that your life should be revolving around the Quran. And you make this as your priority about giving speeches, learning about public speeches. And there are training sessions. If you cannot, there's one option that we have online Adaya. Last year we launched a paid social media platform. Everyone knows about Netflix. Who doesn't know Netflix? Who doesn't know Netflix? MashaAllah, everyone knows Netflix. Who knows Al-Hidayah? Raise your hand. Al-Hidayah. Al-Hidayah. Few people, maybe 20%. Al-Hidayah, I call it the Islamic version of Netflix. It's a platform which is the largest video content platform Islamic in the world. It is the largest number of courses in the world, where we have top 40 English-speaking du'as from all over the world. And recently, in January, 2 months back, we made it free. So the light version is absolutely free. If you want the premium version where you want to watch 4K, 8K, you have to pay. But the light version is free. You can enroll yourself. There is a Dawah training program called as Let's Become Effective Dais. It is a 700 hours program of 350 hours of recording, where the techniques of Dawah are shared. It is done very professionally with 4K cameras. And in that 50 days, we recorded 3 petabytes. It's a Guinness Book of World Record. But they didn't agree. They said you have to inform us 2 months in advance. So it's a beautiful platform where there is a course on Dawah, Let's Become Effective Dai. There are various other courses on Tafsir of the Quran and Hadith. You want to know about Hajj, you want to know about Salah. There are hundreds of courses, absolutely free. There are even programs for children. You go there and you put children's program, you will find our young girls of age of 4 and 5 giving speech in front of 10,000 people, 20,000 people in Bombay. The way they confidently they speak. So we start training from a young age. So this is a good platform that you can enroll yourself. You can ask your parents to see to it that they enroll. It is free. And this will give you some guidance about many things of how to see to it that you involve Dawah in your life. Hope that answers the questions.